This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Central Texas Life. It is always a good thing to talk about the amazing museums we have in Central Texas. So many of them, but I think at the top of the list for me, and at least for sure my three granddaughters, is the Mayborn Museum. So I am delighted to introduce to you Rebecca Nall, who of course has been on the podcast in the past on Central Texas Living the Show many times back in the day on Channel 25 as the Assistant Director of Communications. And I've just gotten to meet Molly Noah, who is the marketing director. Is that your title? Marketing?
Marketing coordinator.
Marketing
yes,
coordinator. All right. And it's just, there's always something great happening at the Mayborn.
Yes. We could talk about anything all day if you wanted.
I know. But we've only got a few minutes. So we're gonna talk about, well, right now you have Scooby Mansion as your traveling exhibit.
Yes.
And but that's about to wrap up, but it's wrapping up with something kind of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, we have had Scooby-Doo Mansion Mayhem since April, but we are going to close it out with a really fun Scooby-Doo marathon, actually, on August 19th, and then the exhibit will close on August 20th. So we really wanted to kind of celebrate Scooby and have one kind of final hurrah for all of the fans.
Well, I know my three granddaughters were here a couple of weeks ago, and we were planning all kinds of things for them to do. And I said, we're going to go to the Mayborn. I mean, they were like, right. They were so excited. You should have been videoing that for your marketing because they were so excited. But now, when we go, they're so familiar with it, it's hard to keep up with them.
Yeah.
Because they know they immediately run off to the bubble room or whatever, But, yeah, Scooby-Doo Mansion Mayhem really was a lot of fun for them. They thoroughly enjoyed that. But what's coming up next? I know you've got something after this wraps up.
So we have a really interesting exhibit that's planned for the fall. It's called XOXO, an exhibit about love and forgiveness.
Really?
And it's from the Children's Museum of Pittsburgh. We had an exhibit from them a number of years ago. It was the Eric Carle exhibit. I don't know if you remember that. And so this exhibit really teaches children and their caregivers to learn about emotions and, how you can, better understand your emotions and communicate them with others. But it's very, very interactive, and it's going to be good for our family audience. So you can get on a seesaw and learn about the give and take between relationships. You can write down, what makes you sad or angry, and then put it in a paper shredder to kind of let it go out into the universe. And you can learn a lot about, facial expressions to really, help children understand about empathy and
that emotional
with others.
IQ that we get so tied up with our phones and stuff. People don't even really know how to communicate that way anymore.
So I think it's going to be a really great exhibit, and we are adding a kindness bingo to the rack card where people can learn more about the exhibit, and it encourages you to, grab lunch with a friend or, help your neighbor out. And so we're hoping to just, bring a little bit more love to Waco this fall.
Okay, now this is starting presumably in September, right?
Yes.
How long a time do you have to set it up? I mean, I'm sure you've got a little preparation.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a buffer. There's going to be a couple weeks in between. So it's going to open up on the 17th of September, which is a Sunday because the day before is a home football game.
Good.
Where we're going to have a member preview on that Friday night to invite families to come and check it out who are museum members and get a little bit of a, individual preview so they can, there's a lot of craft things in the exhibit. So I think people will really stay a long time and enjoy and explore. And then it'll be through January. We'll have it through January 7th.
Oh, a nice long. This is the whole fall semester.
Yeah. We'll have it through the holidays, which will be nice.
Oh, that's very good. These are the kind of things people want to know. They're bringing their kids, the folks that have family memberships come a lot, I'll bet.
Yes, they do. And we've really seen our membership program blossom a lot over the past couple of years. And this summer, it's been, record breaking the number of members that we have, which is great. We also have part of the membership is we have a Museums for All membership. And so if you receive food stamps or have a Lone Star card, you can purchase a family membership for just $10.
Really?
And so you just have to bring that information to the front desk. And so we've seen that program grow quite a bit, and we're excited to, add all of these new members to the Mayborn.
Well, it's such a rich learning environment for kids. It's kind of funny. I was talking to a friend who said, well, my grandchildren, they're kind of a variety of ages, and said, well, they all said their favorite thing was the little grocery area, the little HEB area. And I said, well, my granddaughters, they're older than that.
Yes.
I'm a rule follower, and like, oh, you can't go in there. Well, she had younger ones, and so
Yes.
the older ones, there weren't a lot of people there, so the older ones went too. Well, apparently kids had gotten in there and just thrown the stuff everywhere. So the older ones were busy getting everything put back on the shelf. And the little boy, he was checking everybody out. And so it was still a great learning experience for even older children in that little part of the
Yeah, that's
the
what we try to
exhibit.
encourage the different jobs, right?
Yeah.
How can you help out at
Yeah,
HEB?
they
What
do.
are the roles that you don't just have to be a shopper. You can be the checker or the stocker, and which really helps make the experience better for other people
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
everything's back on the shelf. We are, over the next year, we have some planned updates to a couple of the other discovery rooms to see how we can bring Play Waco into the other rooms, because Play Waco is our most
I
popular
know.
exhibit.
Well, the girls love it, and they were like, oh, we can't go. I went,
Well, it's always so packed.
I know.
too,
It's
so.
too, and it was busy the day we were there. Again, it's so hot. Talk about record breaking. Our heat has been really something this summer, and what a great place to go for a couple of hours easily. But the girls love the Bill and Vera Daniel Historic Village, and so of course we went outside. But there's a lot of nice shade, even though it was. I thought, oh my goodness, we're going to be so hot. They had more fun.
That's
Going
great.
to those.
Well, those buildings are air conditioned, so
Right.
So that will help a little bit. But we have been having to close the village in the afternoons whenever we have heat advisories. So it has been pretty frequently. But you can go in the morning, and like you said,
Right.
it's in the shade. It's kind of in a valley, so it's not too.
It's not
too
bad.
bad.
It's not bad. Well, of course, it's just such a wonderful museum. Of course, it grew out of the old Strecker Museum that I remember as a kid, and I understand there's some major renovations that are. I mean, the thing to me seems like it's brand new, but it's really how old is now the museum?
Well, so in 2024, we're actually going to be celebrating our 20th anniversary.
Get out.
So we're planning a celebratory event, a gala in May of 2024. We've got the date set for May 17th.
Oh, good.
And we're really going to use that to kind of kick off some fundraising so that we can work on renovation for our for a capital project to get the Natural Science and Cultural History wing. It's still, very immersive, very experiential, but we know that we need some more updated technology. We want to, update the stories that we're telling in that space. And so we've been working on plans for that for quite a bit, and
How
ready
much money do
to
you
take
need
the
to
next
raise?
step.
What are
Well,
you looking at?
to do the first phase of renovations, we need $2 million to cap that off. But looking at the entire project, we're hoping for about $14 million.
Oh my goodness. And it's not to add on any more to the building, right? Or is it?
We won't add on to the building, but we are for the first phase. We're adding 5,000 square feet of exhibit space that's currently storage.
Oh, wow.
So we will be adding, and 5,000 square feet is the size of our temporary exhibit
I was
gallery.
gonna say
So
that's big.
it's a good chunk. Mhm.
Yeah. That will have an impact. I mean, that'll be great.
We have a lot of really great plans. Like the completed project will include an acrocanthosaur, we know that, if you've been to the Mayborn, you know that there weren't dinosaurs that have been found in Waco because we were underwater during the Cretaceous period. But around Glen Rose, where
Yes.
the footprints were found, their record of a Acrocanthosaurus. And so we're hoping to, everyone loves dinosaurs. We want to bring that a little bit into the museum. So we're hoping to have one of those represented and really kind of, we'll still tell a lot of the people stories of the people who lived in Central Texas that's currently represented in our Texas Lifeways exhibit. And then we want to, build upon a lot of the paleontological work that's also taken place in Texas, because we have, such great specimens that include the pliosaur and the plesiosaur. And we just want to be able to, talk about those stories a little better.
Well, and of course, a little more recent with the mammoths, we were able to take the girls to the National Monument and actually see it. We went early in the morning because it is so hot, and there's some walking outside. But then to follow that up there at the Mayborn to say, remember, we were just, that really brought it to life, and the video and all, that really added to the richness of their experience in learning more about the mammoths.
Well, and we have a great partnership with the Waco Mammoth National Monument. We're still the repository for a lot of the mammoths that were removed from the site, in addition to other animals.
Right.
And so that will still be present in the museum as we work on our renovations. And like you said, we want to make those connections and encourage people to explore the other cultural institutions that we have in Waco. And one of the exciting things that we have coming that will be completed in 2024 is that we're actually putting 3 bronze mammoths in front of the museum.
I think I saw a picture.
So we'll have a bull, a mother, and a baby.
And where exactly is that?
So, the circular drive where you pull in, they're going to be right in the middle.
Oh, in the middle of that. Oh, my goodness.
And we're
what a statement.
We really wanted to be able to, we have such a beautiful building.
Oh, it is.
And we are on such a beautiful campus, but we wanted people to know this is a museum, and it's just a great way to, really bring that home. And we're going to change the parking to where you come in the other entrance so the mammoths are actually approachable.
Okay.
And people can go up and look at them, take pictures with them. And
some major changes then.
Yes.
To accommodate that. My granddaughters love it. And I remember walking through the building, you're telling me, almost 20 years ago. Doesn't seem possible. But it was not finished. And I saw that children's area, and I'm like, bring on the grandkids. This is going to be so. And so here they are. And they love, love, love this museum. And it thrills me that they love coming to Waco to visit places like this. Molly, get you involved in this discussion. You're going to have some work ahead of you with a gala coming up and all those kinds of things. What's been the most exciting aspect to you of your job? You tell me you've been there now 2 years.
Yeah, definitely. I think we are, so excited about our 20th anniversary next year. And so we are in the midst of planning our exciting gala. But then we're also going to have a family fun fest the day after the gala. So I think it'll be really fun. We're going to have a great evening kind of for adults, but then the next day we'll be able to really celebrate with families. And so I think, that's been a really fun, kind of exciting part for my job and fun to do in terms of marketing. Kind of
reminds me of the Titanic. When Titanic came, that was a very big, fancy, wonderful event. You can't do that every year.
Right.
That's a little too much.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually was there for the Titanic exhibit. And so it was exciting for us this summer because we actually almost met the Titanic numbers.
Really?
So we, have been very excited to kind of see our attendance, and it's been a really amazing summer for us.
Well, this is great. We're going to take a quick break, though, and when we come back, we'll learn a little bit more about these two fine ladies and their work at the Mayborn Museum. So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I'm an alcoholic. Here's the deal. Everybody knows somebody that has suffered from the disease of addiction. I want to invite you to listen to Purpose-Driven Sobriety, where we have real conversations with real people that have suffered from the disease of addiction and have gone on to thrive. Here, we shine light into the darkness that is addiction. You can find Purpose-Driven Sobriety on Facebook or anywhere you get your podcasts.
What are we doing here, Rusty? What are we going to do?
Yep, we're doing the King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast.
King of the Hill
Yes, sir.
Rewatch Podcast. Yeah, so we're going to go through one episode at a time. Come along for the ride with us.
Come check it out.
And give me a good, like Dale Gribble quote to go out on. Wingo!
Yeah, Wingo.
Wingo!
Wingo.
All right, well, join us for the King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast.
Deep in the heart of Texas, that drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany, and we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure. For sure. You can find us on Instagram at bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those two also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
And we're back with Molly Noah and Rebecca Nall with the wonderful Mayborn Museum. So many things happening at the Mayborn. A lot of things happening in Waco this coming year. We've got the full eclipse that I think they're already booking hotel rooms in Gatesville. I think Waco is thoroughly booked up for that. So what's the Mayborn going to be doing for that?
Yeah, so we are actually prepping for the eclipse right now. We are originally had something called Eclipse 10,000, which is where we are helping teachers in the community, teach their students about the eclipse so that they'll be ready for the eclipse that day. Originally, we started with about 10,000, but I think now it's like 30,000 students in the area.
Oh, my goodness.
That are going to be taught about the eclipse. So it's been a really exciting thing for the museum and a really amazing opportunity for Waco, I think.
Well, and the Mayborn is also involved in a lot of other community outreach type things. I know it is the host site for the Baylor Lifelong Learners. I teach a program there. This next spring I'll be back. But yeah, it's just such a wonderful facility, and you guys were so accommodating with my needs with this class that I do, and there are a lot of folks who take advantage of just the facility you have there.
Well, and we have loved having lifelong learning be part of the Mayborn. It's been great to bring, a different audience because we are a family museum. We see a lot of people that come with their families or come with their grandchildren, but you know that, you don't have to have children to enjoy the museum, and there's a lot to experience. And so it's been great to have this other audience that is, captive and is in the museum all of the time and getting to feel like the museum is, part of their community as well. And so lifelong learning classes are kicking off pretty soon.
That's right.
And if you are interested, it's, it's geared towards, folks that are 50 and older. I think they call it 50 and better, and are interested in continuing education, taking classes that don't require tests, but you're really just getting to learn a lot. And this year, the course load seems so interesting. Like there's
Oh,
some
yeah.
classes. There's one about AI, I think, and some about World War II. I want to take all of these classes.
I know. In fact, my husband and I are going to take the Waco 101 that Dr. Sloan, Steve Sloan, who is a fellow podcaster here, and I've interviewed him on the show. And he's just, I said, I would love to have him for a history teacher anyway, as he told me that his secret desire was to be a stand-up comedian. So
that's interesting.
any history teacher that's got that. But I know I will learn so much more about Waco after taking that course that he's hosting. So anyway, yeah, there are a lot of really, really fun things coming up this fall and then next spring too. And I'm sure we'll be having the lifelong learning folks on talking about that, because and it's very reasonable. It's not a expensive thing at all.
No, I mean,
It's like $20, I think.
Yeah, it's $20 for a class, and then we encourage everyone to become a member of the museum, but then you get all of your member benefits as well. You can come, free admission as much as you want, and then discounted admission to, our Christmas Lights in the Village program or any other special events that we have.
Yeah. Well, it's a wonderful thing, and I'm really, really glad to be a part of that myself over the years. You've got wonderful stuff though happening. Your great new program that's coming up that's going to be kicking off in September for the kiddos. Love and Kisses. What are we calling it? What is it?
Yeah, it's XOXO.
Okay, there we go. Hugs and kisses.
Love and Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Very good.
But we've just been referring to it as XOXO.
Well, anything else you could say? In fact, during the break, we were talking about a fellows program or something. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so every summer we have Bryce C. Brown Fellows, and so they actually get to spend the summer doing research in the museum collections.
Really?
So this summer we are actually working with two different fellows, and they're actually studying the mammoth fossils. And so they're actually doing really incredible work. They are actually studying the fossils.
Well, you said one of them was studying that maybe their research is about the sex of the mammoths. So one of them that has been identified as a female might actually be a bull.
Oh, really?
Because that's what the Waco Mammoth National Monument is based on a nursery herd, right? That's the majority that have been found.
There were a couple of females and the little ones.
And then we know that there was one bull, but one of their research is thinking that one of the main fossils is actually a female. So that'll be interesting. Actually a male,
Yeah.
yes. So I'll be interested in learning more about that.
Well, there's still so much information that's being uncovered by the scientists who are working, and they're at the site. They're still working on it. And when it rains, please Lord, let it rain. They go down the gully and check and see if anything else is showing up.
Well, and I think, every time they're, doing work out there, whenever they built the site, and when they do the actual dig shelter, and then, they built a new road, just every time they find more mammoths. So there's just so much more that's out there that hasn't been discovered. Yeah. So we've gotten to talk to Dr. Yan, who's the paleontologist there, and she comes over and, obviously looks a lot at the specimens that we have recovered from the site. And I just am really excited for all the information that we're going to gain.
Yeah. Well, we're very fortunate
changing.
to have her. I understand there are not very many sites like this that the National Park Service has a paleontologist on staff.
Yeah.
This is one of the very few.
Yes, I think we're very fortunate.
Yeah. Well, we are certainly fortunate to have the Mayborn Museum right there on the Baylor campus, and it's a joy for me. Anytime I go there, it's always so much fun to go and see what new is happening there, and see the familiar things. And the girls were able to do the whole body bubble. That's a big thing when it works.
Yeah, sometimes it's so popular that the bubbles get used up a lot
They
by a certain
were a
time
little
in the
frothy
day.
by the time we were there.
It is still like that room is just.
They just
it's
make a
the
beeline
favorite.
for it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Of course, my favorite is the dinosaur video. I just think that's a stitch. That and the little tea room. I love that. And I got a picture of the girls setting up a little tea table too. So anyway.
Well, the tea room, I told you we're working on some upgrades to some of the discovery rooms, and the tea room is one of those that we're gonna work on. We're gonna try to make it. I think the tea room is so popular, but we're thinking of ways that we can make it just a little bit more experiential. Similarly to Play Waco.
Oh, good.
What are the different roles that you can play?
Oh, very good.
Could you be a waiter? You know, it's in a cafe. Could you be the pastry chef? So we're kind of exploring some of those options right now.
Oh, good, very good. Well, it's always a joy to get to go over there. I like to end these visits, so you've done this before, with a questionnaire similar to the one the late great James Lipton would do on Inside the Actors Studio. So I'm going to ask the two of you as we wrap this up, and also because Molly has not been on the show before, so I'm going to ask her, what is your favorite word?
Oh, my favorite word. Maybe inspiration. I feel like I love to be at the museum and be very inspired, especially with the collections. I think there's always something new to kind of inspire people.
Yeah. What about your least favorite word, Rebecca?
Oh, my least favorite word. I think that one that comes top of mind is moist. I don't know. I think that's a word that everybody hates.
I have heard that before. Probably from you. But I don't know what it is about moist. What turns you on creatively, emotionally, or spiritually? I'll ask Rebecca that.
Well, this is going to make me sound incredibly nerdy, but maybe that's why I work in a museum. But I really like things that are organized and in their place.
Yeah.
And so I actually get really excited whenever I'm in my home and I get to reorganize a drawer. And I did start in the collections department at the museum, and your whole job is to organize collections.
Make sure it's
and you're categorizing everything. Is it in its right spot? Is it well cared for?
Do you hire out, is my question.
Not at this time.
Okay, so I'll ask Molly, what turns you off creatively, or spiritually, or emotionally?
I think that I like to work on things by myself, but then I do like to get feedback on things. I really I will always check with Rebecca on things, especially when I'm working on social media and stuff. I always like to work with our interns or work with our staff, and to run things by other people and work with other people.
Yeah, so not getting that feedback wouldn't serve you well.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What sound do you love the most, Molly? I'll ask you.
I do really love to listen to piano music, especially when I'm at work. I do love to listen to some classical piano music, I think.
Cool. What sound do you hate, Rebecca?
My morning alarm.
Yeah.
Some people have it as their ringtone, and I feel like,
oh no,
it gets me hearing it.
That's
my
goes
alarm.
Up your,
Why
goes
do you
up your
want to listen
spine?
to that all the time?
Okay, what other profession would you like to have tried, Rebecca?
Oh, I think about this sometimes. I really love to read, and I love to learn about data. So lately I've been thinking, because Molly and I like to explore a lot about our visitor data and who's coming to the museum, and what they enjoy about coming to the museum. So I've been looking into data analyst classes.
Yeah.
So I think
that's important information to have.
Yeah. So I think it would help me in my current role, but just thinking about what you could do with data or learn about.
Yeah. I'll ask you the same question, Molly. What other profession would you like to have tried? Or maybe still harbor a desire of, like a stand-up comedian?
Oh, gosh. I don't think I would be very funny. But, I studied anthropology in college.
Oh.
and I never really had the guts to, do the dig part. But I think that could have been really fun.
Yeah.
I think to go out and really like look at the bones and
take the little brush and
yeah.
Okay, what job do you know you would not want to do?
I think maybe any type of like doctor, nurse. I'm a
I
big
have heard that
hypochondriac.
before.
So
Yeah, I mean we're grateful for them, but
yeah. I think that I would just always be freaking out for people, and so I would not be very good at that.
yeah. What about you,
That
Rebecca?
was exactly what
Yeah.
I was going to say. So anything in the medical field, I am not great when there's blood. I'm hoping that if there is a time that my children get injured and my husband is not home, that I will rise to the occasion. But most of the time, I just freak out.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, I had a doctor once, and he wouldn't want to be a lawyer. So anyway,
Yeah.
there's that. Okay, one last question. What do you want to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, that's a good one. I think mine would be, you did good.
Kind of a paraphrase of what the scripture is, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe like oh, you were a good daughter, you were a good friend,
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
sister.
yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. Amen. All right. Well, you're doing a great work for sure at the Mayborn Museum, and I appreciate so much you taking time to come and visit with us about the Scooby-Doo Marathon, which again, the date of that?
It's August 19th.
Okay,
So,
coming right up.
And we're showing a couple of the episodes from the original show, and one of them is the episode that the exhibit is based on. So you'll see a lot of the same elements.
How fun.
So I'm excited. I think I'm going to come. I'm going to bring my kids and come so we can check it out.
All right. And how do we get information on family passes and all that sort of thing?
Yeah. So people can go to our website, Mayborn Museum, and they can join as members. They can look at our calendar. They can also look at our upcoming programs for sure.
Always something new.
Yes,
Always
we have a lot
something
coming
to
up.
see. Yeah, at the Mayborn. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being with us. Join us again for another Central Texas Life. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network